Welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, the podcast for new and aspiring indie authors.
We're your hosts, Rachel and Rob, here to help guide you on your writing journey.
Join us each episode as we share tips, insights and practical advice to help you take the next steps towards becoming a successful indie author.
Whether you're working on your first book, navigating self-publishing, or looking to connect with fellow indie authors, this is the place for you.
So grab your notebook, settle in, and let's hit the road to your publishing dreams.
Because right in the end, it's just the beginning.
Hello and welcome to the Indie Author Roadmap, and it's episode 10 where we have no idea what we're talking about today. And I'm Rachel.
And I'm Rob. It's your episode. Come on.
Well, it was going to be either editing or writing routines, and then last night we were like, shall we talk about something else? And it was character arcs, and then you were like, what's that?
Yeah, character arcs. Go.
Do you not know? You know what? You must know internally what a character arc is if you've written like 20 plus books.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, I guess like character. If you're actually thinking about these things, right? This is my character. This is the arc that I want him to take. That's very in the plot realm, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Whereas I'll start off with one chapter, and I don't have a clue, and I'm finding out what the character's about as I'm writing, and then so the journey he goes on is sort of out of my control.
Yeah,
it feels
you probably just do it naturally. My favourite character arc is Walter White. Well, you've watched Breaking Bad. It's like the best character arc ever. From like, I don't know what you call him at the beginning. Yeah, he's a doormat to that's an anti-character arc. So he goes from kind of normal hero to anti-hero.
Yeah.
Because when he starts, he's like just a normal everyday guy, isn't he? And then he slowly turns into Heisenberg, but that's my favourite character arc, and it's so well done because you see him gradually get more evil. But
I mean, that's when I write, my favourite characters are the villains kind of thing, and when it's done right, it doesn't. You're on the journey with it, like Walter White. You don't feel, because you can see each step of the way.
Yeah.
You know, and he has his reasons, and you understand those reasons, even when he's like
killing someone.
Well, like the boy when he made the ricin and ricin, yeah, it's called ricin. Isn't it? When he made the ricin and to kill the boy, you can sort of from his, you sort of with him, and you're like, well, yeah, he's got to, hasn't he? Because this guy needs taken out. When he orders those guys at the end that he's hanging around with to kill all the people that Mike had on his payroll. That's
we should say this is a Breaking Bad spoiler alert episode.
But that's one of my favourite bits of the whole. I've even gone back to that one specific episode just to watch that montage, that 2-minute montage. Where he's just in the motel and he's looking, and you see the watch, and it goes deep, and then it does a montage of all these guys in different prisons getting shanked. I love that.
But you have to have the character arc, because Walter White that we meet in episode 1 would never have done that.
No, yeah.
He has to make, if you look, because he makes gradual steps towards Heisenberg. Even when he does like his first killing of someone, I'm pretty sure he like vomits and stuff. And slowly,
the first killing is 8-Ball, isn't it? In the cellar.
Is it not the one where he's protecting Jesse and he runs over those 2 guys with the car?
I don't know. I thought it was the actual kill, like the actual murder kind of thing.
Oh, the actual murder someone. I think the first people he kills are with the car, because they're attacking Jesse, aren't they? And he defends Jesse.
Yeah. We should have a Breaking Bad episode. Oh,
we should. But it's just my most favourite character arc, because you can literally track it through the whole thing. But right in the first series, they foreshadow that he's got it in him, because when they're in the clothes shop with Walt Jr., and there's some kids picking on him because he's got cerebral palsy,
Yeah.
Walter goes round the back, comes in the front, and basically just goes ape shit on them. So it's foreshadowing he's got it in him, but
Yeah.
he's not there yet.
And then
So
the other step where he goes to see that, I can't remember what the drug dealer's name is, and because he wants
is it Tico?
yeah, Tico, and he basically he wants the money back or the drugs back. I can't remember which one it was that he kept. I think he kept the drugs, didn't he?
Yeah.
And said, no, well, we've got this, do one to Jesse. And then he comes back and he's like, you can see he's shitting it.
Yeah.
But then he blows the place up and
Yeah.
says, got a deal. And they go, yeah, yeah. And then, that was kind of grown. His balls are slowly getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah. But you've got like, he has a physical character arc as well, doesn't he? Because he looks like everybody's chemistry teacher when he starts.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, he's shaved his head, he's got his hat, he's got his goatee.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But that, if ever someone's like to me, how do you learn character arc? I'm like, go and watch that series and study Walter. Best one ever.
What about Saul in Better Cause and Just Cause Saul?
Yeah, he's good, but I don't think he's as prominent as Walter on the arc thing. I think I like Saul because he's good at showing you how to create a character.
Right.
Because I think his strength is he's like a sum of everybody around him.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. He's like his brother shows off his caring side, and then God, what's the woman called?
Kim.
She kind of keeps him on the straight and narrow.
Do you know what I liked about Better Call Saul? I mean, it's great having Bill Ormskirk revising. That's his name as well, isn't it? As if I just remembered that. Revising Saul because he's a great character, but also the fact that you've got a lot of Mike in it.
Yeah.
And then from Mike, you get back to what's the baddie called that gets blown up in Gustavo Fring. The fact that you through Mike, you get to see a lot more of that side of it. And,
yeah.
I love that because you only saw a little bit when he was like taking Jesse on ride-alongs and stuff in Breaking Bad, but then in
Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Saul, yeah.
You see a lot more into the business, and
yeah. I also like that they give you all the stories of all the characters, so you see how Mike becomes Mike,
yeah,
and you see how Gus Fring becomes Gus Fring.
Yeah, because I do like Gus Fring. I love that character as well.
Do you know at the end of Breaking Bad when he straightens his tie when he's about to die? Basically, he did that himself. That was the actor. It wasn't scripted.
Was it?
Yeah.
He's just hardballed into being that kind of prim and proper.
Yeah, he just thought it was very Gus and put his tie up.
And then turns in his Harvey Two-Face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that about wraps it up for our Breaking Bad and Saul episode. I hope you learned a lot. So tell me about your process with character arc, because I'm trying to think now.
I don't think I actually plan it out. It's a lot like you. Because I pants it, but it happens naturally. Because I think in a story, if a character is exactly the same person on page 300 as they were as 100, you've done something wrong.
Yeah.
Because they need to develop with whatever story we've thrown them into, and it doesn't matter who they are. Even bloody Woody in Toy Story, he's got a character arc. He at the beginning he's like Andy's favourite and everything, and by the end he's kind of accepting that he doesn't have to always be top dog.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm thinking about Meat Market, and that is a zero to hero story. So I guess that's the arc in that one. And coming, yeah. I guess it is an actual thing when I'm writing,
Yeah.
and I think, yeah. So your favourite character arc is
Walter.
what, zero to hero, sort of anti-zero to hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Can you give us some examples of other character arcs?
There's loads, isn't there? There's like I don't think there is. You can have There's really bad guys that become good guys.
But see, I love bad guys, but I mean, the bad guys don't think they're bad guys.
Nobody is a bad guy in their own story.
Yeah, exactly. And those I really do enjoy. Films don't do it enough, I don't think.
No,
Films and TVs because they have the bad guy who was just born with the pitchfork in his hand, which is not the case.
no. And I think if you have the super evil villain who's always evil, it's really boring.
Yeah, because there's the snow. But then,
Yeah,
but then usually when you've got like the super evil villain that's just then your good guy is usually not flawed at all. He's just the prim and proper, I'm going to save the day kind of thing.
and they're boring as well.
Yeah,
I was reading A Court of Thorn and Roses. I can't imagine you've read that or into romantasy.
no, I like the covers, all the
Well,
different.
Tamlin, like the main guy in it that you meet at the beginning, he's literally too good to be true, and I'm like, there's something wrong with him because he's just a goody two shoes all the time, and I'm
Right.
like, I don't like him. I'm like, I hope he's not the hero of the story, which he turns out he isn't. He's an arsehole in the end, but his goody two shoes was actually what gets you thinking that he's not a goody two shoes, that he's a dick.
Just the mask he wears.
Yeah, well, he's just, I don't know, he's just like a prick, basically.
But is there a reason that character's in there?
Because just gets her into the story, doesn't it? Because obviously she's going to fall for the bad guy.
I've not read any of
I
them.
can't imagine they would be your kind of books unless you're into reading romantic fantasy.
No. Oh, the romantic, are they? Right.
Yeah. It's good. But any character that you really like on TV or in a book has got a character arc of some kind.
What about secondary characters? Should they have arcs? Or are they just like extras, background fodder?
Maybe. See, I think they should do. It depends how secondary they are. Because you have some secondary characters that don't really show up that much, and then you have others. Like, I've just finished watching Schitt's Creek. Have you watched that?
No.
And the whole family has a character arc each, and then the other characters in the series also have their own arcs.
That's more of an ensemble then, isn't it? You won't
Yeah.
really have... Well, I don't know because I haven't watched
Well,
it.
the main cast, basically, the story is it's a very rich family. Like, they've got 500 million in the bank. That's how rich they are. The dad he's played by Eugene Levy. His accountant basically has stolen all their money, so they have all their houses and everything taken off them, and they have to go and live in this place called Schitt's Creek.
Right.
And they living in like one of these moth-eaten motels in America, and it's like it's really good actually. But it's 6 seasons, so it's like over 6 years of them living in this place. But they all have really good character arcs, and then all the characters in this little town they meet all have their own character arcs as well. And then because you're following all their different arcs, it really makes you attached to the characters
Right.
because you can see how they've grown and changed.
Yeah, cool.
It's a good show, by the way. You should go and watch it.
Yeah, well, I've seen it. Who's got in it?
It's Eugene and Daniel Levy, so father and son.
That's him from
American Pie. Yeah, the dad, and then it's his son. The daughter's also in it, and Catherine O'Hara, who is the mum from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have a look. Yeah.
it's really. We literally binged it in about 2 weeks. We've watched 6 seasons of it.
Yeah, the problem that I have is it on Netflix or Amazon?
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah, the problem is if I get into something, then I'm not doing anything other than watching that. I
Yeah,
had to tear myself away to come and chat because I've been watching Black Sails.
right.
Just because people said, "Oh, it's like it's pirates, but it's like Game of Thrones." It's not.
No,
It's not good. No, or maybe because I'm comparing.
see, she's Game of Thrones. She's supposed to. I've never watched all of Game of Thrones, so I don't know. But she's supposed to have a really good character arc, Daenerys.
Daenerys Targaryen.
like a downfall character arc. I've not seen all of it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you've seen it, then you'll know.
Yeah, I guess it is because she starts off the innocent, know nothing girl, and then she ends up being basically sold into and to the words, Rob. What are they called? Not Targaryen, Dothraki.
Yeah.
She's still a know nothing virgin, and then but she's like the queen of the Dothraki then, and then her husband King
He dies, doesn't he?
and she sort of steps up. No, I think
And she loses a baby, doesn't she, at the start?
yeah, I think she loses the baby, and then he dies, and then she goes and she kind of wants to die with him and walks because he's being burned, walks into the flames, and then comes out with these like she was gifted these eggs, the dragon eggs from years and years ago, and they're just stone now. But then she walks into the flames with them, and then she comes out with these dragons, and then slowly she starts ascending power. You know, with these dragons, no one's seen a dragon for hundreds of years. People start following her,
Yeah.
and then when she gets to the ultimate prize, which is the Iron Throne, she's just turned and she just wants to kill him all. That's just all she wants then, regardless of she's got like the mother of dragons, the breaker of chains. So when she's in Essos, she's freeing slaves and all the rest of it and empowering people. And then when she gets to Westeros at the end, she just doesn't give a shit. Then she kills the whole of King's Landing, and she's not bothered. It's just about the power. Then it's a pretty good character arc.
Yeah.
I do know about them, don't I?
You do, see? Yeah. And then you had to do that one on your own because I've never seen the show. I've only read the first 2 books.
Yeah. Oh, I'll watch it again now. Although I prefer the prequel, the words again, the other Game of Thrones one,
House of Dragon or something.
House of Dragon. Yeah, I do prefer that just because I like Matt Smith and everything he does. I think.
Yeah.
Come on, it's your show.
It's not as your show. You're supposed to be learning about character arcs. What do you want to know?
So teach me. So what? So when you start writing a book, you're sort of figuring out. Did you ever have in mind the character, like the protagonist's journey? Do you know what it's going to be before you start?
See, on my Death Dealer series, I do kind of have, even though I'm a pantser, I do have an idea of the character arc. Because when I started her out, she's has magic, but it's always been denied, and she's kind of got one of those really controlling mothers who's always, put her down in everything she's done.
I'm gonna have to stop. We'll just disconnect. It's probably phoned it, but I didn't catch what you said.
Right.
So if you go from in my Death Dealer series, she had magic.
Yeah, so in my Death Dealer series, the main character Harper has got there's people who are magical and who are not magical, and her mum is one of these, pretentious people, thinks that the magical people are below them. So when her daughter was born with magic, she was like, it's the worst thing ever. So she medicated it so that her magic she could pretend her daughter didn't have any magic, kind of thing.
So you've kind of spun around like the boys and stuff. So to have magic is like, ew.
Yeah, if you're magic, it's one of those, we do it as humans, don't we? If we're scared of anything, we kind of attack it.
Right.
So they put it down and make it nothing and the bottom of the barrel. So that's what they've done with magic, and they have it that people with magic have to register with the Mages Council and be monitored and stuff like that, so that they don't take control. So to have magic, it's based on kind of the discrimination you got in the 60s with racial discrimination kind of thing.
But it goes back further, doesn't it? People fear the masses fear what they don't understand, and
Exactly.
so they try to oppress it.
Yeah, so it's like magic like that. So because her mum's dead prim and proper, think of Hyacinth Bouquet kind of prim and proper. To have a daughter who was born with magic's like the worst thing ever. And so she's medicated out of her daughter. So now in the books, she's like early 20s, living in a flat that's a bit crappy, having a boyfriend that walks all over her. So she's repeating kind of the treatment that her mum did. And because she's a bit scatty, she keeps forgetting to take the medicine that she's been trained to take, so her magic starts leaking out.
Oh,
And so because she's never been registered, she's classed as an illegal magical. So a bounty hunter from the Mages Council spots her before she actually gets spotted, and he's like, whoa, I'm going to help you before you end up in prison or some shit like that. So but the very start of the book, she's kind of like a doormat, and so as she goes through the series, the plan is that she gets stronger and accepts who she is and realizes that having magic doesn't make her a lesser person.
yeah.
And then actually she's eventually going to discover that she's part of like the Sealy Court and stuff like that.
Part of the what?
The Sealy Court, if you like all the Fae stuff. So yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you read fantasy, you know what it is. It's the Irish and Scottish fairy worlds. But
fairies? Yeah.
fairy, yeah, but they call it Fae. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you have the Sealy Court and the Unseelie Court and stuff like that, and she doesn't realise she's part of all of that.
She's a fairy.
Yeah, so she's going to grow in strength, not just with her magic, but as a person. So
Right.
I know that is an arc there, and so every story that I throw her in makes her get deeper and deeper into the magic world.
Yeah. I'd say when you mentioned fairies, I straight away thought of True Blood, Eric's character arc. I really liked that in the True Blood series. Bill kind of like stagnated a little bit for me.
Yeah.
His, but Eric, because he's the baddie at the beginning, and then he's the hero.
Yeah.
Series through it.
See, I read the books that I watched so far of the series, and I'm like, you've gone way off the books that I'm not even going to bother. So I read all the books to that, and then the author ruined it.
What, the TV ruined it?
The author ruined the story.
Oh yeah, he said that because they're getting so much pressure because True Blood was a smash.
Yeah, because when she originally wrote True Blood, it's the Suki Stackhouse books, she killed Bill off, and they made her bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of like
A wimp.
yeah, but then he becomes he is a bit of a wimp, but you couldn't really kill him. He's the main. He's not the main character, but he's the second main character in the first couple of series, isn't he?
Yeah, but in the books, he's kind of a main character. This is the same kind of Court of Thorn and Roses. You have him and Suki in the first kind of series and first couple of books, and then the anti-hero comes along. So in True Blood, it's Eric. In Court of Thorns and Roses, it's Rhysand. And he's actually the better one because his intentions are proper.
Yeah. So it's similar to True Blood then, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if she's a fan of True Blood.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of character arcs in some of my writing now. I mean, when
All of them will have character arcs. Like, how does your character in the very first book start? And I bet you in book 5 or whatever you're on, he's completely grown.
yeah, I mean but you can have some characters that don't have an arc because they're just constantly. Because I'm thinking about my divine books, I write about immortals, and so everything's the same. It's very constant for them, passing the time. So for them to have a character arc, it's more of in the moment character arcs as opposed to like big picture because they're constant,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the way that you the way that the reader or watcher perceives them is the character arc as opposed to them changing.
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's not even big character arcs, it's just down to like themes with them changing.
Yeah. I'm thinking about one of my books that I wrote called Miss Millionaire. I've written I've written two of a trilogy, and it's about winning the lottery. So it was just something fun that I'd always wanted to, write about, because it's just imagine if.
Yeah.
In the second book that I wrote, that's going to be the first now, I write from the female's point of view, and she goes public and all the problems with that. But before she wins the lottery, she's being trampled on and her boyfriend's cheating on her, and she finds out the day before she wins the lottery and stuff. And I'm just thinking that character art's similar to what you said, where the downtrodden, and then, I mean, the power that she gets is money. She
Yeah.
can do what she wants all of a sudden, and then everyone else is trying to get in on her. And her character arc is basically manning up, I guess. Just don't be so reliant and don't be used by people like you have been.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now she has this power, the means to go out it alone. Yeah.
Yeah. But they're arcs, even if they're little, because it's kind of like learning to respect herself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. She realizes that she's not this person's boyfriend. She's a person in herself.
Yeah.
So I guess I am writing them without realizing it.
Yeah. Because if you don't, your characters just stay where they are, and then it makes the story pointless. Especially if you've got
There's no
characters.
story, is there? There's no
No.
story.
Because the story and the stuff that happens in the story is just a bunch of beats, but it's how your character travels through those beats and changes along with them.
Yeah. Oh my God, we've done 35 minutes of this. I can't believe it. Well, 20 of it was talking about Breaking Bad.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got planned on the writing front? How's Witchy Witcherson coming along?
Yeah. How's Witchy Witcherson going along?
I had there was someone that was asking me about that the other day, and an author saying, "Oh, it sounds really good." That when we were just in was episode 1 or 2, we were just throwing ideas around. I've done chapter 1. I've done.
Yeah.
That's
I have got my chapter 1 of my character. It's just getting them together.
Yeah. So what have you been up to this week?
Well, it's only Monday. So nothing yet.
What have you been up to?
I have been challenged or told.
No. We're gonna have to start all that again, because you started talking when I was talking. Gonna go. Okay. So what have you been up to since we last spoke?
I have been challenged or told by the husband that I have to stop pissing around and finish my book by the end of the week.
That's the one that you nearly finished.
That's the one that I've nearly finished for ages now.
So how's that gone? Because you should have finished it with us recording.
Because I should have well, yeah, but I don't know. I've got till Friday to fin. He's told me, and I'm like, yeah, but only in first draft. So yeah.
There's another 4 drafts to come. Don't worry.
No, because most of it, I'm up to chapter like 60 something, and they're all edited and good to go now. So he's like, you need to finish this now and get on to the next book.
Yeah. What's your word count been this week? Last week? Within 7 days?
Within 7 days. Said I got no cough, but there we go. It's about 15,000, which is a bit crappy for me.
15,000.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bent towards your million, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's mostly hitting. I think I'm about 8,000 behind where I should be to hit my million by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll just have a day, though, won't you, where you'll just fly through it all at some point.
Yeah. Therefore, hopefully, that's the plan. But then I started messing around on Substack and made myself a Substack, just because procrastination, and I was like, I'll have a nosy at this, and then I'll have a nosy at, is it Ko-fi or Coffee it's pronounced? Yeah.
I did that. Yeah, I went through all of them. Page. I mean, from last time I spoke when I grilled you on Patreon, I set up a Patreon page, and then and then it's the tears. I'm spending hours looking at different things that different people have and do, and what I'd be able to manage without it, being too much. And then I just go, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore, and then look for the next one. So yeah,
Yeah.
I've set up my Patreon, and I sent out an email, and I got a couple of subscribers, paid subscribers,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is awesome.
yeah. So my target,
Yeah.
which is unrealistic, but it is a target nonetheless, is 1,000. You get that's if I in not in the next week or anything, but like if that's the round number in the future that I'll be heading for. If we could get 1,000, I don't know how stupid I'm being just even having that number. I mean, I texted you the other day, didn't I, saying 998 left to
Yeah.
go?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've not even hit 1,000 yet, so
Yeah, but you don't actively do anything with it though, do you? It's just organic sign-ups.
yeah. I mean, I'll send. It's always on the bottom of my newsletter, and I'll always put in like links of what I've talked about that week on my thing. I do
Yeah,
have free posts that go up, so kind of, and then I'll share the free posts, so that encourages them to become free subscribers, because then I know Patreon will email them every so often and say, "Why don't you join?" So
yeah. So that's a quick question. So you do a post in Patreon, another Patreon episode. You do you do a post in Patreon, and then it comes up, doesn't it, with that like thing, so share or whatever you want to do, and then you take that link and you put it in your newsletter.
yeah, yeah,
So it's just so you funnel in the your traffic
yeah.
to Patreon, and hopefully you get a few followers, and then
Yeah, and I'll share it on
just
my Facebook page and stuff. But I also, every week, will do one or two free posts and then
yeah
share that free post around, because you do get people will click it, and they have to follow you to read the free post. So then, because they followed you, they're then on Patreon's email list. So once every couple of weeks, Patreon will email out and say, "You like author such and such. Maybe you'd like to subscribe," and you get some that way.
yeah. So they're pretty relentless as well, because I figured out, so I could figure out from the customer point of view or the reader's point of view. I followed myself with another
Yeah, yeah,
browser.
I've done that.
This email, I've been uploading my books onto chapter by chapter, and I get an email through every single time. I mean, I did 10 this morning, and I've just got all these Patreon. Oh, he's just
Yeah,
uploaded this, upload this. But what I was thinking was having like all my posts, like just chatty blog posts and stuff, is free to followers and everyone else. And then it's if you want to get into the books, then that's when you know
yeah.
you
You
pay
should
me.
do some of your chatty ones as paid as well, because it's if you look at it from the fans' perspective, they can go away and buy your book on Amazon, and if all the free members are getting all your chatty stuff, there's nothing for them to be there for. Although they get the chapters early, whereas
Yeah,
if you have chatty ones and stuff that is just exclusive to them, that can't be got anywhere else.
right, yeah,
Even if you just go and hop on your TikTok and do a 10-minute update or whatever, download it and upload it to Patreon and take it off TikTok so it's just there.
but like the videos and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done that a little bit. Use TikTok to record it because it's got all the really cool shit you can put on it, and then upload it. But you've got to have something that's exclusive to your Patreons, but something that those that can't afford to be on Patreon won't annoy them too much.
right. So I was thinking, like I was saying, I was thinking about doing like a solo podcast, and not really a podcast, just like I've got loads of quite funny blog posts and stuff and rants that I did years ago, and some of them are on my YouTube channel, but to redo them now that
Yeah,
I've got a little bit of a better setup, and then have them as like a solo podcast, Rob Rants or something like that, as a solo podcast exclusive to Patreon.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
thinking maybe something like that.
Yeah, it's like, if you think about it, like, if you, I don't know, if you were a book signing and signing books for your fans, everyone can do that. But there would be some exclusive, closer fans who you'd go for a drink in the pub with later. They're your Patreons.
Right, yeah.
And so the people that only went to the book signing are not losing anything by not going to the pub with you, but the ones that can afford to go to the pub with you are kind of getting that bit extra.
Yeah, I mean, if they're buying, they're not going to be able to afford to go to a pub with me.
No, but you know what I mean? It's giving, you've got to give your Patreon something extra that they couldn't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and I understand then why.
But not too extra that it annoys your fans, and then you start getting emails like, "Oh, just because I can't afford to support you, I don't get this, that, and the other."
Well, I mean, that's annoying anyway, because it's like, well, are you buying my books? Because if you're not, what we're doing here anyway?
Yeah,
You know?
but you will get those messages, and you just gotta say, "I'm sorry." You know? Yeah, but
I saw it on Facebook. Who was it that I saw? It was an author. I was just looking on the comments of an author. And you always get them that say, "Oh, I'd love to read this, but I can't afford it."
yep, yeah.
You can't afford £3. What? How have you managed to even send this? If you can't afford £3, you can't afford the broadband using to power this message you're sending. So you sat in Weatherspoons. No, you're not even sat in Weatherspoons using the free Wi-Fi because you can't afford that. Yeah.
No, you can't afford the spoons. Yeah.
No. And that kind of brings you into the that. No, we haven't got enough time. I was thinking we could segue then into promos and getting all these freebie people and stuff, but we'll have to.
That'll have to be another episode.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Character acts.
Character arcs, yeah.
Yeah, just shout it out.
I actually had somewhere, if I can find it, a character arc, like worksheet thing for people who do like to plot.
Find it.
I will find it and I'll post it.
Post it on. It can be like kind of incorporated into a blog post.
Yeah.
Something. It's.
I do have a blog post on character arcs somewhere as well. I could dig that out and post it.
I'll read it this time as well. Yeah. So, I feel like we're coming to the end of this one now.
Yeah, although you haven't said what you wrote last week.
Oh yeah.
Apart from Patreon. And how's your TikTok going?
TikTok. I'm enjoying it. I'm being consistent. I haven't posted today, but that's because after this I'm going to be doing. So what I did is I filmed a load of bits, and then I've just been sort of recycling them. But I think they've been a bit too recycled because I'm falling back into the 200, 300 club. But I do have an author who does really well, and we chat quite often, and she's going to find some new music for me.
Yeah.
Which, she texted me last night saying, "I'll find some new music for us." So, yes. And then I'm going to do figure out a few more transition. I'm enjoying doing the transition ones, and it was a transition one that went big for me, 20,000 views. So I want to, because I kind of like making them up and figuring them out and stuff. So I'm going to do a few more of them, and I'm going to take a lot of different pictures of me so I've got that stuff every day to then use and regurgitate into slides and videos and stuff. But I am being consistent. It's been nearly a month. I've never gone this long, and I'm still pumped. But I think that's because I've seen it with my own eyes, not just been told about, if you can get sales. Because I always thought, oh, well, people buy my books. Is it just for romance? Is it just for fantasy?
Yeah.
And now I can, because I've had a little bit of success and a few sales and that, which are still coming in, I can say that yeah, the readers are there, which is G'd me on, and will continue to G me on. I've stopped all my Facebook ad. Well, I've stopped all my Facebook ads for Rob Radcliffe. I'm still running them for RJ, but I'm kind of I'm figuring out what more to on the. Words now. This is the beauty of edits. It's brilliant. Yeah, so I've stopped all my my ads for Rob
Nice.
Radcliffe, and the only problem, right, when I do these edits, I'll be saying it and I'll get back into it, and you'll be smiling at one moment, and then because I've edited, you'll be like, oh dear. So yeah, I've stopped all my edits for the third time. So I can't. I'm gonna have to do it again because I
I
can't.
mean, you've stopped all your adverts, not your edits.
I've stopped all. See, you're laughing now, and you weren't before when you listened to it. So it's going to get edited in, and you're going to be like,
Right, I'm just going to stay here like this. Go on, say it.
What was I even saying? I've stopped all my ads for RJ Radcliffe, and no, I haven't. I'm continuing ads for RJ Radcliffe. I've stopped all my ads for Rob Radcliffe, and I'm going to focus on TikTok and cross posting to the other places for Rob Radcliffe, just so I've got like zero, and anything that comes from it is just from video marketing. That was hard. That. Yeah. You only asked how TikTok was going. How's that going?
No. I just need to get it in my schedule.
Yeah.
Because if I do it in the morning, I end up not wasting, but just spending too much time doing it, and then my writing time's gone. And then I'm doing freelance stuff in the day, and then in the evening, I'm just tired. So I just need to figure out, or even just like batch make them into drafts on the weekend, and then just hit release through the week or something.
Well, that's what I did because I had a load of text grabs from the books and stuff. I mean, it works. It depends what sort of video and slides you're doing, obviously. But like, I've got like funny bits from the books, all four of them. So it's not just but one that I concentrate on. And then I've got this, that, and the other. And I've got the hook. You know, would you read rom-com if it was written by a man? Which straight away goes to my target audience, which it would seem are women because they read like I've never known it. Men don't really seem to read as often. Yeah, they just get proper involved with it. It's great. So I've got this hook that, and then I've got all these bits of text that I can just copy and paste onto videos. So then I come in here and then I'll do a few transitions, a few variations of transition, 4 or 5 or 6, and then that's enough for a week. Then I've got all the bits that I need to put it all together. The last bit is the music, but my author's helping me with that. It's just, I guess, it's just getting everything together and spending that little bit of time to get it all in one place on your phone, and then you can. Once you've got it all there, it's just copy and paste, and it takes 5 minutes to do a video.
Yeah, the other one I can't decide on mine is I've got my writing one, which kind of has a mixture of books stuff on it and writing stuff, because it's got like 2,000 subs, so I've got the link. But then I've got one that's only got 130 subscribers, but it's just book stuff, right? You know, my books. So I'm like, I don't know which one I should really be posting to.
Both?
Yeah. Which I've been doing. I've been putting them on both.
And the problem is that I've heard is you shouldn't post the same video. Because,
no, I've not been. I've been posting different videos.
But then all of a sudden you need a schedule, a posting schedule, and it starts getting really complicated. Well, I did that one then. It's 3 weeks later, I'll do that one, and I'll overwhelm. Fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore.
See, I made for my pen name X. I made like an Excel sheet with 21 different book hooks.
Right.
And that works out at 3 TikToks a day, for a week.
Yeah.
but then I would just change up the images because the words would be the same, and just cycle through them. But then it was just, when can I fit this in my schedule?
Are you doing slides?
Yeah, yeah, and they work pretty well. I usually get anything between 700 to 1,000 views. I know it's not millions, but
Yeah.
some of them, the occasional will take off. But I can, but on that one, even if I only get a 700 view, I can still see a spike in the sales or in the paid reads. It's like someone will always comment.
Yeah, that's. I mean, one of the things. Even though for some reason it's dropped down, I think it's because I've regurgitated too much. I was between 700 and 1,000, and
Yeah,
then I had the big one, and then it went back down to 700 and 1,000. But because I've just been regurgitating the same thing, it's stale, and I've gone back
yeah,
down to
to
200
two.
300. So then it seems like it's levels. 200 300 is like you're at the door, and then if you get a little bit of something, then they move you up to
Yeah,
700. But any post could be that one that
yeah.
moves you a little bit.
Well, I purposely, like you on that one, I advertise a book that I don't have ads to, so I can see when it spikes.
Yeah, uh, yeah. And one thing that it might just be the tail of this big one even still, but I've found that even with the small ones now, I'm getting comments. I think it might be the hook though, because it's
Yeah,
asking the question. So I want to come up with some new hooks, variation of that, and yeah, I'm still doing it. So that's that's the step.
I know you're still gonna do it in February.
Yeah, yeah. Because I've turned off all my ads, this is now the way that I'm going to get, you know, money for that
Yeah,
pen name, I guess.
yeah,
Uh, but also, like I said before, the because I'm just targeting women now, and they are ferocious,
ferocious.
ferocious.
Ferocious means they're gonna attack you. You know, like a tiger's ferocious.
Because they are ferocious readers. It does mean that if I can get the hook right and I can do something that resonates, they are buying and they are trying it out, and straight away. Whereas guy readers are generally more like, oh yeah, I might, if I see it again, I might pick it up.
Yeah,
But these girls, they just want more. And that's in fact one of my patrons that signed up. I found her on TikTok, and she's gone for like the mid tier, which is £10 a month, because she bought all of my books in paperback apart from book 4, and then because book 4 was out in paperback, but now with my £10 tier, I'm giving a signed paperback every time I release a book. So she's reading these books now because I'm uploading all the chapters. So she just wants it constantly, and I'm going to run out. Even though I'm going to, by the end of the next month, I'll have 4 books on there. I'm going to run out of stuff for her, and then I'm thinking, is she going to hang on? Is she still going to be paying the money, waiting for the signed paperback, and for me to produce more stuff? How do you deal with that? Like people coming and going from Patreon. It's back on Patreon.
yeah, it's back on Patreon. One of those things was not taking it personal. That was really hard for me because I was like, "Why have you left? What have I done?" But sometimes people are just cutting the money. But I just kind of like, oh well. But I have a thing with them, that if they're on the tier where they get to read chapters, and I said I was going to send them the ebook, even if they leave before that book's finished, I will still send them the ebook because they still gave me the support.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people leave just because, as you do when your bills are a bit tight, you go and cut the fat, don't you? And that's your
yeah.
subscriptions that go. And
Yeah, if you subscribe to an author to get extra bits, it's a flight of fancy, innit? It's not.
yeah. So
Yeah,
when money's a bit tight, you're gonna come off them. So I try to always be like really nice because I'm like, they might come back, and some of them don't. Some of them you get. I had one person that was constantly back and forth and back and forth, and now they've dropped to a cheaper tier. So I think that was just that they couldn't afford the higher tier, but they wanted it, and
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, but yeah, I know some people that'll be like, well, what if somebody pays like your lowest tier and then reads everything and then leaves? And I'm like, but it's still an extra $3 in your pocket. So what?
Yeah, my tiers is I've got like follower obviously, and that's just going to be a few blog posts and stuff. I'll keep some of them to the paid tiers. More behind the scenes stuff I think I'll do with the paid tiers,
Yeah,
uh, and I'll also do whatever I'm going to do. I don't know yet. But then my first one is kind of like a tip jar. It's buy me a beer kind of
yeah,
thing. It's like for £2.50, and then it goes up to a fiver for read my stuff.
yeah,
So I was going to do a fiver. You can read my current work in progress, and then the others are behind the higher paywall. But I thought, no, I'm not going to do that just because it just confused me as well. So you can read my stuff online, and you'll get a copy of the a digital copy before it's out for a fiver a month, and then tenner is paperback, 20 is hardback.
yeah. How are you managing the tenner for a paperback if it's an American fan?
Don't know yet.
Because I can tell you that the postage is about 15 quid.
I do have one American. Yeah, I mean that's yeah.
Just this is why I priced mine at $25 because it covered my postage. So I might only make like $3 or $4 profit, but they've got a signed paperback.
It's the that and that's the annoying thing. It's the signed bit. You physically need to have it. If it wasn't
Yeah,
signed,
you could drop ship it.
yeah,
Yeah, I
uh,
mean at $10, I would do the I'll drop ship you a paperback and post you a book signed book plate, so they could stick
yeah.
it in themselves. That's what I'd do at that price, and then I'd have my paper. Well, I do have my paperbacks at $25.
You do hardbacks.
I did do, but I got rid of that tier because it was really annoying. Because I do my paperbacks and then I'm dead lazy to getting around to do my hardbacks.
Well, uploading them.
Yeah, just to sit in and doing the covers and formatting them. It's one of those little jobs that takes me ages. And then I found they were waiting ages for the paperbacks, and then the postage is annoying. And I was just like, I'm just gonna. I waited for the last person that was on that tier to vanish, and then I sacked it off.
Uh, I
Yeah,
mean, I just see how it goes. I mean, how many people have you got on your Patreon?
around 200.
200. And
Yeah.
you've got some big ones as well, haven't you?
I've got quite my most popular tier is the $25.
Because of your paperback.
Yeah, the 10 and the 25 are my most popular. I've got a couple that have done custom amounts because they can choose their own amount. They usually want to give you more.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and Patreon, I think shows that I'm not sure what Patreon shows them. They seem to see everything anyway. I've not had any complaints, so
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, when I priced it £10 and £20, I was just thinking, for me, paperback, 85,000 words, whatever, is going to be about £3.5.
yeah,
So if they're waiting, and I'm thinking if they're waiting 2 or 3 months, that's £30. Well, call it £9, 9 18 £27 because Patreon take their bit. £27. It's cost me three. I'm still in profit
well,
for sending it over somewhere. You know.
just before Christmas, I had a book that I'd finished, and I had paperback, and I sent them all out, and it cost me £278 in postage
Why?
because they're all going to America. Because most of my patrons are American,
Uh, yeah.
and yeah, I mean that was covered by the fact that all my paperback levels are $25.
Yeah.
But it was still like, oh my god.
Well,
And you've
for
got to
me,
order the paperbacks as well. So don't forget you've got to pay for the paperback. So you're talking like $3 to $5 for your actual paperback to come in, and then Amazon charge you postage as well.
Well, it's not Amazon. It's because it's beforehand. So it's Book Vault. It's
Oh
before,
right, are you using Book Vault?
yeah, they get it before you can buy it. Otherwise, they're not, so it'll be Book Vault. It's going to be predominantly UK, I think, because UK is where my TikTok is, and UK's where it's British comedy kind of thing.
Yeah, you have to see where your audience is because mine's paranormal romance, so my
Yeah,
audience is probably 90% American,
yeah. So
and
you
I've even
probably,
got Australians in there as well. So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, with RJ Radcliffe, that is more American,
yeah,
uh, just because the first book's set in New York,
yeah.
and
You might
it's
just have to see how it's going, and but then if you're only doing it's every time you release, and you release maybe once every 3 months, you've actually had 30 quid out of them, so it's covered anyway.
yeah, and 30 quid for a signed paperback before it's out on sale, and also you've been able to read the book. You don't even have to touch it. You don't even have to wreck the spine because you've already read the book. In the before I've published it, and it's decent, isn't it? I
Yeah,
mean, that's 30 quid postage and packaging included because you can't charge them extra for that, can you?
no,
It's not like Kickstarter where they have an extra thing
no,
after. Yeah, yeah. I'll see how it goes. I've only got a few. I've only got a few
yeah.
at the moment. It's only been a few days. What would be nice though is to get all of my list as followers on Patreon, as opposed to, and then that would kind of work as my
Put out
mail
some
as
free, put
well.
out some free posts once or twice a week. Put out some free posts and keep sending them to your newsletter, and you will get
Yeah,
people who will come over because they're on your newsletter because they like you,
yeah.
so they will follow you on there if they think there's something to follow for.
And also explain to them what I want to do. I guess there's
Yeah.
yeah. Mm. Uh, yes, so character arts, eh?
Character arcs and Patreon.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about these things because these are the things that we're doing right now this week, aren't they? Like you've got your Substack. Have you got any? Have you told your email list about your Substack yet?
No, not yet. So what I was wanting to do was build up some posts on there and leave it a couple of weeks, and then I was going to fire it out to my newsletter list. But
Because
it's
with it being, with Substack being that thing as well, you can just import everyone, and instead of them getting it from MailerLite, which they don't know about unless you've got the tag on the bottom, they then instead get it from Substack and they be there.
yeah, yeah. But then wouldn't it annoy them because, well, you see, because it's writing based, my email list comes from my channel, so they're
Right.
expecting to get emails from me with a new episode up rather
Yeah.
than blog posty style things. If you know what I mean, so it might feel like it's spamming them.
Do you have them segmented? I'm guessing you have like your readers for Rachel Morton and your.
I basically just got two MailerLite accounts because I accidentally sent my newsletter to everybody on my list and got a load of unsubscribes because they were like, "We don't know you."
Yeah.
So I decided just to make two MailerLite accounts.
Oh, so that mean that'd mean setting up a second Substack, wouldn't it? Yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah.
Which
No,
on my other pen name, my Patreon works just is fine. I've got so many posts on there. I mean, I've been on there about 8 or 9 years now. Post at least once a week. When
yeah.
so that's a lot of weeks.
What's it about?
Huh? So
What do
Monday I'll literally post about what I've done for the week. Anything. You name it, I write about it. I had a mouse in my house once that was pissing me off. And I wrote about that. In fact, that was probably the one I got the best feedback on, was the escapades of this bloody mouse that I couldn't catch in my kitchen.
Do you put your YouTube channel to it, or do you actually upload them onto Patreon, or do
Oh,
you not?
because it's different pen names.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, but they get updates, they'll get photographs of whatever I'm up to, so like if I'm at a concert, I'll put a concert picture up.
Yeah, it's just behind the scenes stuff for me.
Yeah, it's stuff that's personal but it's not private.
Yeah.
Like if I've gone to download, it's not private, but here's some pictures of, you know, the field, the mud.
Scraping the barrel, aren't you? Just sending pictures of fields.
Yeah. But it has context because you know, my readers know I'm into heavy metal and stuff like that, and so a lot of those, so they appreciate it.
Cool. Right, we've gone over an hour again.
Yeah, but only about 20 minutes of it was character arcs. So this would be the character arcs and stuff episode.
Yeah. It's just simple, isn't it? It's just the rambles. The rambles of Rob and Rachel.
Yeah.
So next week, what we're doing?
I'm not even going to say, because we won't do whatever it is. It's going to be a surprise episode.
It needs to be craft, doesn't it? It needs to be crafty because...
Right, let's do writing routines. We're going to talk about our writing routines.
Well, didn't we do that in the first episode?
Not really. And how to develop a writing routine if you don't have one. And getting a writing routine.
That's
No,
not
because we could do what... It is, because we could do lots of things. We could do how to have a writing routine when you have a full-time job and kids are home.
Right, okay, I'll do this. Instead of the episode, say, we'll have a week off. I'll do this right now, okay? How to have a writing routine. Fucking write and just writing. Stop fucking around and just write. Yeah?
It's not that...
Right.
No. Writing routine. We'll talk about writing routines, and you go and research it on YouTube. You will see that there is loads of different ways to do it.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them. I've seen them. Yeah. Okay. Next week is writing routines. Number 11.
Yeah.
I'll go on YouTube later and look at some booktubers. Yeah, booktubers.
Yeah.
Oh,
How to develop your writing routine as well that suits you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, innit? It's what's... No, I'm not... Yeah.
No, we're not doing that episode now. We're going to say goodbye.
Okay. See you, Rachel.
Bye, Rob.